PredictHQ is a demand intelligence platform. And what that means is that we aggregate, verify, enrich, and rank global event data. We help our customers understand and plan for spikes and dips in demand. And when we're talking about events, we're talking about scheduled ticketed events like sports games and concerts. And we're also talking about non-attendance based events like public holidays, academic events, severe weather, etc., that also impact demand. Each of these types of events create different types of demand, both incremental or positive demand and decremental or negative demand. We help our customers forecast and prepare accordingly based on this data. Now, traditionally, our customers have accessed our demand intelligence data via an API, so they can integrate our data set into their forecasting models, which requires quite a bit of data science. But what's great is that there's actually multiple ways to access PredictHQ's demand intelligence data. Specifically, I want to introduce you to our newest product, Notifications. Notifications is a tool that enables you to have visibility into relevant real-time event alerts instantly. There's no code necessary, and teams can set up configurations to be alerted when impactful events are happening or if changes have been made to events. Let's go ahead and jump into the product to show you. Once you've signed up, you can log in. Now, this is going to take you to what we call Control Center. Control Center is your central hub to access and manage the various products you have access to and all of the demand intelligence data your business needs. And this is all through a single portal. Down here on the left-hand side, you're going to see this little label that says Notifications. Go ahead and click on that. We're going to walk through 3 key steps today. We're going to walk through how to set up your first notification, how to view the notifications that you've already set up, and then what you will see when you receive an email with your notifications. So go ahead and click My Configurations. Here you can see that these are some notifications I've set up in the past, and then I'm going to select New Configuration over here. Let's say for the purposes of this demo, I'm a revenue manager at Southeast Airlines in the United States, and I care a lot about events that are happening in the city of Miami. So I'm going to go ahead and name my configuration Events Around Southeast US. And then I have 2 choices. I can either select Event Change, which will give me notifications that meet my criteria about events that have been changed, such as location or date change, or that have been added into the system after I set up the configuration. That's also covered in Event Change. Or you can select Aggregate Event Impact, which will notify you when a predefined threshold of demand is met, meaning when demand for a particular region and date is high. We're going to go through both types of notifications in this demo, but let's go ahead and start with Event Change. Now we're going to select Location. We offer you the ability to select a place. This could be a geographic region, a city, a state, or a country. Here, I'm going to go ahead and type in Miami, since that's a city that I care about. And I'm going to pick the locality of Miami, Florida, United States. This will notify me of all events that are happening in Miami. Or alternatively, I can define a center point and radius. So if I select this one, I can set a specific radius around a specific point. So let's say Miami International Airport. This pulls in from Google. And then I can set a specific radius around the point. So let's go ahead and say 5 miles is fine. Both of these work equally as well, and it's up to your organization to decide what works best for you. As a coffee shop retailer, for example, it may be more important to know about the events within a 1-mile radius of your specific locations versus at a city level. For the purposes of this demo, I'm okay with just picking the entire city of Miami. Now, filters are next. So you're going to have 3 options for filters: event categories, ranks, and date range. For event categories, you're going to have an option of all of the categories that we actually track into our system. And as a revenue manager, I care really a lot about a few core event categories. So I care about airport delays, I care about severe weather, and potentially some scheduled events like expos and conferences. Different event categories impact businesses in different ways. So we're happy to work with your team to determine what event categories impact your business the most. Now we'll move to ranks. So for rank, the higher ranked the event, the more impactful it's going to be. So for me as a revenue manager at an airline, aviation rank is actually something that I really want to be notified about. Something that tracks specific demand that is related to air travel. So I want to be notified whenever an aviation rank hits anything of 40 or above. And that means that air travel is going to be higher demand. What this does is it just helps reduce the noise, right? So when you're seeing events that are a high potential impact, I know that I'm looking at the highest potential impact events. Now, finally, let's go ahead and look at the date range. You're able to select how many days forward you want PredictHQ to look for events that have been changed or added. Because it's very dynamic, I want to know about events that are as far out as possible. So I'm going to go ahead and type in 400 days. Here you'll see that you're only going to have access to the amount of days that you've purchased within your subscription. So it looks like I only have 183 days worth of future looking data. So I'm going to go ahead and select 183. You can always extend this amount by chatting with our team. Next, you're able to select how you want to be notified for this specific configuration. The digest here in this first option just means that you can have notifications be sent to you once a week and that they're bundled together. So if there's 50 events that fall into this criteria that we've just set up, that will be sent in a single email once a week. Or you can choose to have them be sent immediately. So as soon as an airport delay happens at the airport in Miami, I will get an individual email for that specific event. Or you can also select don't send and you'll be able to access the notifications within Control Center only. You can also go ahead and select delivery preferences and you can decide and change the alias that these notifications are being sent to. So maybe you have a team alias for all of the revenue managers on your team. You can actually add that here and have the notifications be sent to a central alias. So I'm going to go ahead and press Save Preferences. And for the purposes of this demo, I'm going to press Send Immediately. So I want to be notified as soon as an event hits this criteria. Here, you'll see that this says search for sample events. I would encourage you to select this just to make sure that there are events that meet your criteria. And here you can go ahead and see some of the examples of the events. So the last step here is save configuration. And the more notification configurations you set up, you'll be able to see them all here in this view at a glance. And as the actual notifications come through, you can see them through this tab over here that says View Notifications. So these are the ones that actually fall into some of the configurations that I've set up in the past. Now let's go back and quickly set up an aggregate event impact configuration for the city of Miami. So let's go ahead and press New Configuration again, and we'll go ahead and call this Peak Days in Miami. The notification type here is going to be aggregate event impact, right? And so you would use this type of notification if you want to see the overall demand at a country, city, or regional level. So let's say for this example, you have a centrally based operations team and you oversee demand for the Southeast region of the United States, and you want to set up a notification specific to the city of Miami, as this is a major market for your team. So for location, again, we'll go ahead and select Miami. We'll pick the locality of Florida, United States. And we're going to go ahead and go to our filters again, right? So for event categories, this is to note that for AEI, we only track the categories that are attendance based. And this is important to know as we're able to track the amount of people that are actually coming to these events. And so you have 7 options here of our ticketed attended events that we track. I'm going to go ahead and select concerts and sports, as I know that those are 2 categories that really impact my specific business. Again, we can work with you to determine what types of categories might impact your business. Then for rank, we're going to go ahead and select PHQ rank, and we're going to go ahead and select anything that hits a 50 or above of PHQ rank we want to be notified about. And we want to see actually in the next 30 days when that threshold is met. Next, you'll decide what to set your threshold at. The number you add to this field equals the number of attendees that you want to be reached at an aggregate level of demand before you're notified. In this case, we're going to go ahead and type in 5,000. And so what this means is that if there's any day in the next 30 days where there are sports games or concerts on the same day that have more than 5,000 people in attendance in aggregate, you're going to go ahead and be notified. Finally, you go down here, you select your email preferences again. We're going to say digest, you save the configuration. Finally, let's take a look at the email that you would receive if you've opted into receiving emails. Here, you can see an email digest for an aggregate event impact notification that I had previously set up to view high impact days in the UK. I set my threshold quite low, so actually 199 dates met my criteria. Based off of this email, I'll probably go back into my existing configurations and edit this to make sure it's more relevant next time. To summarize, it's a really easy 3-step process to set up your notifications. You can get up and running fast and immediately get value about being informed about events that might impact your business. Ultimately, this will enable you and your teams to make smart decisions faster with relevant real-time alerts about events.